Have you ever stopped to wonder how your security light just knows when to turn on? Or how any smart device seems to understand what's happening around it? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that little bit of magic. We're going to start with a super simple blinking light and piece by piece turn it into a smart alarm system. And along the way, we'll uncover the secrets behind how all this interactive tech really works. It's a really great question, right? Think about it. All these devices, they aren't just making random beeps or flashing lights for no reason. They're trying to communicate with us. They use this language of light and sound to tell us things like, hey, I'm working just fine, or maybe, whoa, you might want to come check on this. We're about to build our own little machine that can tell that exact same story. All right, so here's what we're working with. The brain of our whole operation is this little Arduino board. It's basically a tiny programmable computer. And to communicate, we've got two LEDs, a green one for System OK and a red one for Houston, we have a problem, plus a buzzer to make some noise. These are what we call our output devices. They're how our system is going to talk to the outside world. Okay, let's dive into our first attempt. We'll call this version 1, the automated loop. It's really straightforward, but as you're about to see, it has one pretty big limitation. So the big idea here is something called a loop. The first bit of code we're running is completely stuck inside this loop. It just follows a script that we've already written for it over and over again. It has absolutely no idea what's going on in the real world. It's kind of like a robot on a hamster wheel, you know? Just doing the same thing forever no matter what. So here's exactly what that cycle looks like. First, the green light pops on for 3 seconds, telling us everything's A-OK. Then it pretends there's an error. The green light goes off, and the red light and the buzzer start blinking and beeping 4 times. And once that's done, it just starts the whole sequence all over again, forever. I love this analogy because it's so perfect. Our system right now is just a movie playing on repeat. It's telling a story, sure, but it has no idea if anyone's watching. It can't react to a real problem because it's not even looking for one. So the big question is, how do we give it eyes and ears? How do we let it sense the world? And this is where things get really interesting. We're going to make a crucial upgrade. We're adding a sensor. We're basically giving our little system senses for the very first time. This one tiny component is going to be the bridge between our lonely little circuit and the real world. Okay, so take a look at these two side by side. On the left, you've got our original simple loop. But on the right, see that new part? That's just a simple push-button switch. But for our project, that switch is going to be our sensor. Imagine it's on a factory assembly line. When it gets pressed, it means something's gone wrong. That's our trigger. Now, to make this switch work, we have to talk about a super important idea, input versus output. See, up until now, everything we've used, the LEDs, the buzzer, they've all been outputs. We were sending signals out from the Arduino to them. But now with this switch, we're going to set up one of the pins as an input. We're telling the Arduino, hey, stop talking for a second and just listen. Listen for a signal coming in. And just like that, with that one little change in thinking, we've unlocked a whole new world of possibilities. This brings us to version 2, a system that's truly interactive, one that can actually sense, decide, and then react. You can actually see the upgrade right here in the code. On the left, our old dumb loop just used a for loop, basically forcing the alarm to go off no matter what. But look at the right. Our new smart logic uses something called an if/else statement. This is huge. This is a decision-making tool. It tells the Arduino to ask a question. Is that sensor being pressed right now? So how does this smart logic actually work? Well, it's a really simple but powerful 3-step dance. First, it senses. The Arduino checks the signal from the switch. Second, it decides. Is that switch being pressed? Yes or no? And finally, it reacts. If the answer is yes, boom, the alarm goes off. If the answer is no, it just keeps that friendly green all clear light on. See? It's not a movie on repeat anymore. Now it's a guard on duty. This table really lays it all out, nice and simple. Our new system has 2 totally separate states, and they are completely controlled by that sensor. When the switch is just sitting there, not being pressed, we're in the system OK state. Green light's on, everything's quiet. But the instant that switch gets pressed, the whole system flips to the error state. Green light goes off, red light comes on, buzzer starts screaming. It's pure cause and effect right there in action. So after all that, what's the big takeaway from this whole journey? Well, we've really seen a massive shift, a huge leap from a dumb, repetitive loop to smart, responsive logic. Let's just boil it down to the essentials. Outputs, they're for action, lighting things up, making sounds. Inputs, they're for sensing, feeling a button press, gathering info, and the secret sauce that connects them is conditional logic, that if-else code. That's what lets the system make decisions. You put those three things together, input, processing, and output, and you have the recipe for pretty much every smart device you've ever used.
And that brings me to a final thought for you. We used a simple little switch. But what if we swapped it for a temperature sensor to warn us if a machine is overheating? Or maybe a light sensor to tell us if a secure door has been opened? The amazing thing is, the logic we just built, it's exactly the same. The only limit, really, is your imagination. So what would you build next?